Well, welcome everyone, it's Nicola Cairncross here, and it's still early New Year 2023, and I have, as I've mentioned a couple of times before, have been spending quite a lot of time watching other entrepreneurs on YouTube. Now, why have I been doing that? Well, one, because I believe that you can always learn something. Two, because I've set myself this task of putting up one YouTube video a day, ongoing now. I've gone past the first 28 days, which was my original plan. And three, because I need some inspiration sometimes. So sometimes I'm looking for ideas for videos that I could make you, not to copy other people's videos, but just to watch to see if something they say sparks off a bit of inspiration in my head or reminds me of something that I used to teach on workshops and that I can share with you that I haven't shared so far on the channel. So one of the things that I've been sort of subconsciously looking for is what makes some entrepreneurs successful and some not. And I've come up with this thing. Sometimes I really wish I had a whiteboard behind me. So I'm thinking I might have to get one because I love a bit of visual representation, don't you? So anyway, I want you to imagine there's a whiteboard behind me and that I'm writing on it. So I'm going to use this white wall here as a sort of backdrop. So what I want you to do is imagine there's a whole population over here, a whole population in England or America, wherever you live. Imagine that's all the people over here. And then out of those people, there is an undefined percentage of people who secretly wish, and all of those people are employed. So unfortunately, we're going to leave out the unemployed just for this red hot second. But we're going to imagine that out of all those people that are employed in your country, that there's a secret percentage of them that harbour the desire to have their own business. Now, most people, when they think of having their own business, are thinking about being freelance. They're thinking about doing what they do in their job, but doing it for no boss, not having a boss. That's the main thing people think of when they think about having their business, which is hilarious. Because actually, when you become self-employed, your boss is you. The boss is a nutter. And what's worse, they're a nutter who doesn't know what they're doing. So that's who you'll look at your boss tomorrow, going to work tomorrow, and take them a cake or a biscuit or something and make them a cup of tea and think to yourself, I'm so glad that you're my boss, because not only are you not a nutter, but you seem to vaguely know what you're doing, because that's what you're going to replace, that nice, kind, calm person who goes to work and doesn't think about you when they go home, with someone who can't stop thinking about the business, who is a bit of a nutter and who doesn't know what they're doing. So there you go. So that's the freelance part of it. But there are, in that group of people who want to become a freelance business, there is a group of those people who are they're born entrepreneurs. I'm like this. I've never been able to hold a job down for more than 18 months. I hope I never have to get a job, because I've stated that publicly now and nobody will employ me. Basically what happens is I go into any job and my energy and enthusiasm and everything wows the people who interview me, and I go in and I do a fantastic job for the first 6 months. I uncover opportunities, I make systems better, I'm all gung-ho for it, and I really treat the job as if it was my own business. And then after the sort of next 6 months, I'm sort of starting to flag a bit because I'm not getting any more reward for my efforts. And that's the thing, if you're an employer, try and think about how you can reward your employees directly if they're the entrepreneurial kind of employee, because that's what will happen to them. They'll start to get a little bit not so enthusiastic when they see that nothing they do in your business is affecting their bottom line. So the best job I ever had was one where I was directly paid on results. So I got a sort of retainer, and then I got a percentage, an uncapped percentage actually, which was even more exciting for the new business I brought into the business that I was working for. So that was a very brilliant way to motivate an entrepreneurial employee. But coming back to this sort of small proportion of people who I think we're up to here now, small proportion of people who are entrepreneurial and who want to start a real business, a business where they're not doing the work. That's the difference between a freelance business and a proper grown-up business, is that you're not doing the actual work. Or if you are, that's all you're doing, and you're not doing any of the other bits of running a business. You're not doing the marketing, you're not doing the payroll, you're not doing the accounts, you're not doing the sales, closing the sale necessarily. Although I do believe that marketing and sales is the one thing that an enthusiastic entrepreneur working in their business does better than anyone else. So that should be the last thing to be outsourced to anyone else. And if you're someone who wants to be an entrepreneur but who doesn't want to do marketing and sales, then you ought to bring in a partner who does marketing and sales well, because the two of you will be absolutely dynamite together. But on your own, if you don't like marketing and sales, your business is going to struggle a bit. So, right, we've got a big crowd over here. They've whittled down to a smaller crowd, and they're whittling down to an even smaller crowd, the entrepreneurial people who want to build a bigger business than just a freelance business. And then I've been looking at all the entrepreneurs that I really respect and like, and there's quite a few of them, and I do occasionally mention them on these videos. There's Neil Asher, there's James Sinclair now, there's James Schramko in Australia, there's Gary Vee in America. There's quite a lot of these inspirational people. On the female front, there's people like Denise Duffield Thomas, who wrote the book Get Rich, Lucky Bitch. And in the UK, there's Bernadette Doyle, although I haven't heard an awful lot from her recently. There's Shah Wasmund in the UK. She's a very inspirational entrepreneur. So go and check out all those people. I've got a little sort of list, a watch list on YouTube of inspirational entrepreneurs. So whenever I'm feeling a little bit or a little bit down, or a little bit I can't be bothered, or a little bit what am I doing this for, because we all have those moments, I go and check out and watch some of the upbeat entrepreneurs that I respect and like, and they always get me going again. Trying sort of subconsciously, I suppose, and it just came to me this morning, what am I looking for in those entrepreneurs? What am I looking for when I'm watching them? I'm not just watching what they're saying about the topic they're talking about. I'm watching for that sort of magic fairy dust that successful entrepreneurs seem to have. And I came to a realization today that it's not that they've got fairy dust, it's that they've got confidence. And the difference, I did a video about a day or two ago about holding your vision, your business vision. It's about the people who are successful in business have an innate confidence that they can make it happen. They haven't been, usually when they start out, they haven't been bloodied by life. So old entrepreneurs have a bit of a bigger challenge with this because they've been bloodied by life, and they had their confidence knocked a bit, not least probably because they've just been made redundant or something horrible like that. But so younger entrepreneurs start out with this sort of not been bloodied attitude, and they don't know what they don't know, which is another strength, unless you're my driving instructor. Remember, he said I was plenty of confidence but not very competent, which isn't great when you're learning to drive. So younger entrepreneurs are confident, they don't know what they don't know, they don't know all the things they're going to walk into that could they don't know the obstacles they're going to face. But they do have an innate confidence in themselves, otherwise they wouldn't start. And they also have a confidence that they're going to be able to overcome any obstacles that life and business throws at them. So this confidence is the thing that gets them going. And if they're lucky enough, and I suspect that a lot of early entrepreneurs, kid entrepreneurs, get a lot of help from people, mentorship and introductions and perhaps even a bit of cash to get going. I know every time my kids came to me with an entrepreneurial idea, I won't tell you some of them, they were just hilarious, but I would back them, and my son still owes me 60 quid for something I invested in. I mean, I never fail to remind him of that too when it comes to Christmas and birthdays. His failed business venture. Well, did it fail? No, it didn't. It was all right. It ran for a while. But I never got my 60 quid back, that's for sure. So they get a lot of help is what I'm trying to say. And I think that makes the proportion of younger entrepreneurs who succeed early and quite high compared with older entrepreneurs. And I also feel that gives them an innate confidence that it builds on the confidence they had anyway. And so their innate confidence is boosted and bolstered by this early success. And then they go on to have more success, or they fail in that one thing, but their self-confidence isn't knocked. And then they go on to have more success. And I think all the people I've mentioned have had knockbacks. All the people I know they have, because I know their stories. But I think what they didn't get knocked back was their innate self-confidence. Now, when I got to the age of 38 and realised something had to change, things started changing really pretty quickly. I took 100% responsibility for my results. I went out looking for help. I had an amazing mentor in Benny Gray, the guy who I got a job with straight away. And I also discovered other mentors along the way. So I got some of the secrets of success, some of the building blocks to becoming a successful entrepreneur in place. But when I had my first failure, it came out of nowhere. I thought it was me being rubbish, but actually it was a global financial crisis and a credit crunch all at the same time, which affected my customers. And I didn't know that, although someone did say to me it might happen, but I sort of couldn't really see I couldn't see beyond my front lawn basically. So it knocked my confidence. And there were several people I know who lost everything at the same time I did, and it didn't seem to knock their confidence as much. I remember a particular car journey when I was sitting with one of my mentors who became one of my best friends, and we were talking about what we were both going to do next, and the way he talked about all his options was different to the way I talked about mine, because I was talking about mine in terms of what was least likely to go wrong, and he was talking about his opportunities as these are all the things I could do and I know I'd make a success of them, but which one do I choose? So that was his challenge. It was a different challenge to mine. And I'm sure that all the entrepreneurs I've just mentioned have crises of confidence. They must do. So I'd be very interested to know what they do when they get a crisis of confidence. I think they must have to go and talk to their mentors, because that's the only thing I can think of that would give them both the answers they need in terms of the strategy and tactics, i.e. here's what you should do next and here's how I do it. But I think it would also be a little pep talk for them, because the best mentor, mentors don't mentor you unless they think well of you, unless they think you're capable, unless they think you're a person who could come up to scratch. So I think the very fact that you have a mentor at that stage is a signal that you're worthy of someone else's confidence. And if you're worthy of someone else's confidence who's further down the road than you are, then surely you've got to be worthy of your own confidence. So what can you do personally to boost your self-confidence? Some of the things I do is I remember and tell the stories of previous successes, like the hotel. I bought £500,000 hotel, no money down, and I turned it around in 6 weeks and launched it onto the Worthing summer market successfully. Although it all went wrong about 4 years later for various reasons I've covered in some of my previous videos, it wasn't that I didn't do it. I did do it. I did it well. I did more than most people imagine is even possible. So that gives me a bit of confidence going forwards that I have done things like that. Things like I put on a successful fashion show with a budget of absolutely zero at my local nightclub, and got all the local shops to participate, and got loads of models to volunteer, and got someone else to do the food and someone else to do the music. You know, I was very good at organising things like that. I put on a fashion show in London at Gray's Antique Market on a budget, I think it was about 100 quid. I said to Benny, what's the budget? He said, what's the nearest number to zero you can think of? I said, all right, okay. And I got Vidal Sassoon to do the hair, and I got loads of people to volunteer to be models again. I got all the clothes lent by Alfie's Antique Market, which was one of Benny's sister companies. So I am really, really good at having ideas and persuading other people to buy into those ideas. I mean, there's been loads of other things. There's been loads of conferences in London we've put on with the Money Gym. There's been things that I've done. I've got up on stage and I've sold 60% of the room into my program. I've inspired loads of people over the years, and I've kept every single email. If someone's ever sent me a thank you email, I have kept it. If anyone ever sent me email or a video telling me what they've done with what I've taught them, I've kept it. And I think, and sometimes I do go back and watch my own testimonials videos, and I do read my own testimonial pages, because it reminds me that I've made a difference. That gives me the confidence to know that I can go on and make a difference again. So if you're sitting there thinking, I'd love to start a business, I don't just want it to be a freelance business where I'm doing the work. I want it to be a business that grows and perhaps employs some other people, even if only part-time. And I want to be the person who's the entrepreneur in the business rather than the manager or the technician. If you've ever read E-Myth Revisited, and if you haven't, you need to go and do that immediately. But if you have ever read it, you'll know that in any good team, there's an entrepreneur with a vision, there's the management people who make it happen, who hold the entrepreneur's vision and make it happen, and then there's the technicians who actually do the work. So if you want to grow a business that looks like that, and perhaps even bigger, then you've got to find the confidence within you to know that not only are you, what if not you, then who else? You know, why not you? And also have the confidence to know that you'll get over any obstacle when it comes along, that you'll find ways of coping with the knockbacks and the setbacks, because there will be knockbacks and setbacks, but that your confidence needs to carry you through. And start thinking about how you can keep your confidence high. How can you make a difference to people's lives, and then keep those tokens of appreciation that people send you. I mean, only this last couple of weeks, I got the Christmas card from Geraldine, which made me feel wonderful. It really did. The fact that somebody had bothered to do that was just incredible. So thank you again, Geraldine. Is just amazing. So that's what you need. You need to find whatever way you can to reach deep inside yourself and have the confidence to know that you can do this, and that you, if not you, then who? And also have a team of, they're like invisible mentors, those people on my list of people to watch. So today I was listening to one of them and I could actually hear his voice in my head. He actually has a radio show that turns into a podcast, and you can actually ring up and run your business past him, and he'll tell you what he would do in your situation. And I thought, I can hear his voice in my head. I know what he would say. I don't need to go on the radio show because I know what he would say. So that's what standing on the shoulders of giants looks like. It's having a whole team of people that you can lean on in those moments when your confidence needs a boost. And I'm really good at helping people get some confidence. And in my Clicks and Leads Academy, which you can join any time, I'm really good at just giving you enough confidence to keep you going for the next week or so, because we do live calls every couple of weeks, and that is the way that I help people keep their confidence high for the next week. We talk about what they want to do next in their business. I tell them, give them the strategy that I would use, the tactics that I would use. I refer them to other people if they need particular skills that I can't help them with. And they go away feeling a bit more confident that they can get through another week in their business. And that's what gives my life meaning, because I know I can help people. And that's an amazing feeling. Thanks for listening. See you tomorrow.